Okay, have y'all ever had one of those moments where you're like, Lord, just get me home. I'll deal with the rest tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and the rest looks like a $4,000 transmission? Yeah, that was me. So picture this. I'm driving home from a long trip. I'm exhausted. And then my car starts acting like it's auditioning for the Fast and Furious, the breakdown edition. Halfway home, boom, the dreaded check engine light. And I'm like, okay, Lord, just let me get home safe and I promise I'll take it in tomorrow. And look, I made it home. Next morning, I take it to the mechanic, thinking maybe it's just a tune-up. You know, wishful thinking. Mechanic walks out, wipes his hands, and then goes, it's your transmission. My soul left my body right there in that parking lot. I started crying, like the kind of crying where you're trying to hold it together, but your tears are having a full-on revival in front of the mechanic. I'm standing there doing emotional math in my head like, okay, rent, plus bills, plus transmission, plus groceries, equals, I'm gonna need manna from heaven. I go home bawling, praying, trying to figure things out, and then it hits me. Tithing. And y'all, that's when the real wrestling match started. My heart's like, trust God, He's got you. And my brain's like, girl, He may got you, but the bank don't. And there I was, doing faith math and fear math at the same time. Spoiler alert, those two calculators don't speak the same language. And I was like, God, I want to trust you, but this don't make sense right now. Then the conviction hit hard. Like, do you trust me or just when it's convenient? So I took a deep breath, I prayed again, and I said, all right, Lord, I'm going to trust you. And I tithed. Scared, but obedient. So later that same day, I go back to the mechanic, ask all the questions, like, how soon can you get me in? How long is it going to take? And then I ask again, how much is it going to be? And y'all, he comes back with a new price, a couple of $100 less than before. Guess how much less? Almost the exact same amount I tithed that week. I just stood there like, okay, Jesus, I see what you did there. But it doesn't end there. The mechanic fills the transmission fluid, clears the check engine light, and says, you'll be fine until we can get it back in to fix it. Then days go by. No light. A week goes by. Still no light. And another week. Still no light. And I'm like, okay, God, are you fixing cars now? I take it back to the mechanic just to be sure. And the mechanic runs diagnostics and nothing's wrong. All I needed was a tune-up. No transmission, no thousands of dollars, just God doing what He does, showing up and showing out. This whole situation reminded me of the widow in 1 Kings 17 who fed Elijah with her last bit of food. She thought it would be her last meal, but out of obedience, she fed him anyway. And what did God do? He made sure her jar never ran dry. My jar was my paycheck. And God was like, do you trust me enough to pour it anyway? And when I did, He not only filled my jar, He fixed my car. Sometimes God doesn't refill your jar until you pour out what's left in it. So hear me on this. Faith isn't logical math, it's trust math. And trust math says obedience plus surrender equals provision and peace. You may not know how it's going to work out, but God does. And sometimes He's not testing your finances, He's testing your faith. So basically, God fixed my transmission and my trust issues. So tell me in the comments, has God ever come through for you in a situation that made 0 sense on paper? We'd love to hear your miracle story because someone else needs that encouragement today.